because we are what's out there. A crypto trading hamster performs better than Warren Buffett in the S&P 500.
Is there more to that article?
Yeah, there's a whole article. His name is Mr. Gox.
Let's go. So
Mr. Gox.
So how does any of this work?
I have no idea. It's Gox, Goxx.
Okay. So I'm just having trouble wrapping my brain around. So it's just it's a hamster that trades in the stock market. But do they have coding set up for him to buy and sell stocks or something with his hamster?
So spinning on the hamster wheel allows Mr. Gox to select a cryptocurrency to trade. Oh. Choosing one of the two tunnels to run through allows him to buy or sell. So it's basically up to chance, really.
Oh, so it's like a gambling thing. Not gambling, but technically it's a gamble. But
it's like he's just kind of choosing it. What if we told you there was a hamster who has been trading cryptocurrencies since June and recently was doing better than Warren Buffett in the S&P 500?
Okay, so here's my question: who is sponsoring this hamster? Because you gotta have some money to be like, oh, my hamster chooses if I buy Dogecoin, Litecoin, or Ethereum today. I mean, that's not a given. You're given that
the human behind this hamster's account and money has not been made public. It's just Mr. Gox himself.
Mr. Gox doing the work.
What a legend. It's designed so that when Mr. Gox runs on the hamster wheel, he can select among dozens of cryptocurrencies. Then, deciding between two tunnels, he chooses whether to buy or sell. According to the Twitch account for the hamster, his decisions are sent over to a real trading platform. And yes, real money is involved. Damn. So he's a Twitch account and everything. You can watch this man trade.
I bet he has crazy amounts of followers.
That's sweet.
That's so cool. I mean, shout out to Mr. Gox. Doing better than Warren Buffett something.
His portfolio is up 20% since he started trading in June.
That shows what people know about trading.
Seriously.
Just let a hamster do it. You'll be all right.
Dogecoin. How do you come up with this idea? That's crazy.
I mean, you just have to have a lot of money. At that point, it's it's an experiment. You don't you don't care about the money, really.
It could have just been a random thought. He was like,
what if my hamster?
Yeah, I'll just put it up to chance, whatever. While Mr. Gox's methodology is random at best, it does remind us that where people get their financial advice from is certainly changing. We've seen people getting tips from TikTok and 2 kids in Baltimore. Wow.
Shout out Mr. Gox. I would love to see that account go public.
Yeah, that's awesome.
See what the information is on it.
Mr. Gox is a beast. There's nobody to contact about this.
We should have to call Mr. Gox.
Yeah, we can talk to Mr. Gox himself.
Mr. Gox.
We can just have him working in the background here.
Yeah, I would love to watch that.
Oh, that'd be sweet.
I would love to watch that. No, Mr. Gox, don't buy shit coin. Go towards the Litecoin.
Golly. Oh man, that's sweet.
Shiba coin. I gotta hit the stop button. Stupid.
Because we are what's out there. The gun that killed Billy the Kid is going up for auction. Starting bid $2 million.
Whoa.
That's a lot of money.
Do we know for a fact it's the gun that killed Billy the Kid?
So I believe.
Do we know that Billy the Kid's dead? I know there's rumors that he lived or whatever. I know he's not like he'd be 140 now, but
yeah, at least he'd be 140.
Boy, I hope that timeline's right.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think I saw something where most of his weapons are just nobody knows. Nobody has any idea. There wasn't as much documentation back then, which obviously, so it's just I would
assume. I mean, it's probably traced back to the right date, or you can do the century tracing or see when the what year it was, and it was probably the same year that Billy the Kid was killed. Probably recovered near the OK Corral. Is that where he was killed? He was somewhere.
It was Fort Sumner, New Mexico.
Yep, you're right.
He was only 21 years old too.
Yeah,
it's crazy, but he's a legend.
Have you ever seen the movie Young Guns with Emilio Estevez, Charlie Sheen? Dude, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. It's about Billy the Kid and some of his buddies, kind of. And it's awesome.
I love this part of history. I haven't seen that movie though. I'll watch it for sure.
One of my favorite movies. We need to watch it. I don't know what it's on. You should look up and see what it's on.
I'll just go on 123movies.
Yeah,
CA or
it's
whatever.
a great movie. A lot of great actors. Kiefer Sutherland's in it too. It is awesome. If you've never watched that movie, and you're in for a treat. Charlie Sheen is super cool. He's still Charlie Sheen, but he's young Charlie Sheen.
Yeah.
Emilio Estevez, obviously.
Everybody likes
Lou Diamond Phillips is in it.
Wow.
There's some big actors.
Dang. Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'd love that stuff. I'm a big documentary guy. I don't spend a lot of time watching TV shows or movies, but I like documentaries or things like that.
This is a great movie to watch. I mean, it makes you feel like, Billy the Kid probably wasn't a great dude. Killed people, did things, whatever.
I believe he was involved in like 9 murders, but he killed at least 8 or something like that.
He kind of went gun crazy for a while.
Yeah.
But at least as per the movie and what history has kind of said. But like, the movie makes you want to root for him, obviously. That's how it glamorizes the situation.
He was was he the main character?
Yeah.
Who plays him?
Emilio Estevez. It's awesome, dude. You should look up a picture real quick. See if you can find a picture of Emilio Estevez in Young Guns.
Okay.
I mean, this is the ideal what Billy the Kid looks like. They had all of this stuff that he had the personality like crazy on tap. Some of the best acting I've seen in a long time. But it's called Young Guns, and
there's 3 of them.
Yeah, there's 3 Young Guns. They were really good. The first one was really good. I watched part of the second one.
Shoot,
I don't remember how the second one goes, but the first one is the one that is amazing. Yeah, look at that.
Dang.
The suspenders posted up.
That's sweet.
He's baller in that.
1988. So let's get back to this gun, though.
Great film. Yeah. Sorry, back to the
$2 million. I mean, this guy's a legend, and he's one of those guys that is almost like, it's like a folktale almost. It's like Jack the Ripper or something like that, Buffalo Bill. It's like those guys that are like legends. So
he was killed by Doc Holliday, who was a ranger. He's actually in Young Guns as well. But he was killed by Doc Holliday, or so it was rumored to be. There's like a weird conspiracy where people are like, oh, Billy the Kid didn't actually die that day. I don't know. You guys go look it up, but there is a conspiracy around that.
There are a lot of conspiracies about him.
I don't subscribe to that. I think he probably got killed. That's just how the Wild West went. But Doc Holliday shot him in Fort Sumner. I actually got to see his gravesite. I mean, not his gravesite up close, but there's a crazy story about there's a recurring theme in the movie Pals, and there's a quote that Emilio Estevez makes, and it's basically he says, you got a few good friends or a few good pals, and that's a tribe. Your family's your tribe, they stick with you. And basically all this stuff about pals is kind of a reoccurring theme. And once the movie finishes and it's in the epilogue, sorry, this is not really a spoiler about the movie at all.
Okay.
But the real true story part of it is someone, after Billy the Kid was rumored to be shot, killed, his gravesite, on the back of his tombstone, someone engraved the word pals, and you can still see it to this day on the back of his tombstone. They don't really have an angle you can view it from, but there's pictures documenting that it says pals.
Dang, that's so awesome.
So someone went in. I mean, it's under security. Like people watch to make sure no one messes with that. It's a literal landmark. But someone snuck in.
Dude, I love the lore of that. I love I love that stuff.
Lauren loved the movie, and she doesn't like a lot of things that are like.
She doesn't like a lot of things.
She didn't like movies I like very often because she's like, if I want to watch Talladega Nights, she'll be like, all right, it's probably not going to be the greatest movie, which it's not, but it's funny.
Yeah, it's funny.
But this one she loved. This was an awesome movie.
Wow. He escaped from death row too. I can't remember. It was like a small.
I mean, death row then versus now.
Exactly. Security and
firing squad, and you're just kind of like, I juked.
Yeah. But hey, that was big time back then.
He's a man. He's a man's man, dude.
He's a man's man. 21 years old.
That's crazy.
I would like to believe. I love conspiracies. I don't abide by them all the time, but I like. The thought of it,
The second movie starts with him being like, I wasn't killed that day. And it's like an old Billy the Kid, and he's like, I wasn't killed.
Oh, did they go with the
They went with the conspiracy.
They go with the conspiracy?
Mm-hmm. So in the first movie, he's not killed, which is crazy. They introduce Doc Holliday, but the second one is more about Doc Holliday hunting him down. So, and he explains the lore behind that as to what they think happened. But apparently the movie was written, this could be totally false, so I'm sorry. I'm fairly certain that Billy the Kid's granddaughter passed on facts to her daughter, so his great-granddaughter was one of the people that were there during the script writing of the original movie, and she had told certain stories about her great-grandpa that she knew from her grandma who knew firsthand. Because I think, maybe not. Maybe it was, I don't know, maybe an aunt or an uncle. I don't know if he had any kids. He was only 21, I guess.
Something like that.
It was some relative of Billy the Kid or some descendant of Billy the Kid, somehow, some way, had firsthand knowledge of this stuff or claimed that firsthand knowledge of this stuff.
I'm reading this. And I'm not trying to say that you're wrong. I'm just reading what this has to say.
Sure.
After his escape from death row, the kid spent several months hiding out in the frontier and taking refuge with the sympathetic locals in Fort Sumner, New Mexico.
Yep.
He neglected to keep a low profile, however, and it wasn't long before Sheriff Pat Garrett,
not whoever
Doc
I
Holliday.
said, not Doc Holliday, Pat Garrett.
Yes, Pat Garrett.
Jesus, not
and
Doc Holliday.
two deputies rode into town. On the night of July 14th, 1881, Garrett went to the home of rancher Peter Maxwell to question him about the outlaw's whereabouts. No sooner had he woken Maxwell than the kid also approached the house, having stopped nearby to get beef for a late dinner. When he noticed the silhouette of one of Garrett's deputies on the porch, the kid drew his pistol and backed toward the door, shouting, "Who's that?" in Spanish. As he entered Maxwell's darkened room, he spotted the shadowy outline of Garrett and once again asked, "Who's that?" Upon recognizing the kid's voice, Sheriff Garrett drew his six-shooter and fired off 2 rounds in his direction. One bullet struck the 21-year-old near his heart, killing him instantly.
Pat Garrett, sorry. Yeah, it's about Pat Garrett, not Doc Holliday.
Yeah.
Another old cowboy.
Yeah. That's all right.
That's all right. It's close.
But
It's like if I would have said Wyatt Earp, that would have been okay too.
Yeah, you got it all up here.
I got it all up here. But no, yeah, Pat Garrett, not Doc Holliday. They might even talk about Doc Holliday, but I know for a fact they talk about Pat Garrett.
Mm-hmm. They could have for sure. What do I know? But so let's talk about this actual gun that's being sold.
Dude, Billy the Kid's so interesting to talk about.
Yeah, I love that part of history, man. Or just things like that. So the gun. Okay, this is the gun that killed him.
That killed Billy the Kid.
Yes.
Okay.
This is Pat Garrett's single action. So it's a six shot or whatever. Six shooter. So this was 140 years ago, dude.
That's crazy. I mean, one, that's a relic. Two, that's an 140-year-old gun that still probably works to this day. Those things were built to last, but I mean, you have to be a crazy private investor, put that in a glass case and say, put a freaking thing that reads, "This is the firearm that killed Billy the Kid."
Yeah, I wonder what the
killed the kid.
I wonder what the documentation was for guns back then. Obviously,
serial number of some sort. Maybe.
Yeah, serial number attached to the name. I mean, Pat Garrett was a sheriff, so
it probably would be documented fairly.
Exactly.
If it was an outlaw's gun, there's no guarantee, but if it was a sheriff, there should be a serial number or some type of log or something. It could be just the gun they think, but I feel like more than likely it had to be some type of sheriff log.
Yeah, I would assume so. Prior to his killing, a judge is said to have sentenced famed outlaw Billy the Kid to hang until, and this is a quote, "You're dead, dead, dead." Billy was rumored to respond, "And you can go to hell, hell, hell."
Damn, dude.
What a beast.
What a beast.
What a beast. So
that's crazy.
For collectors, okay, so in 2008, for instance, this guy sold Billy's gun for $64,000.
Damn. So it was one of Billy the Kid's guns that he sold for $64,000?
Mm-hmm.
Does this guy just have a collection of Billy the Kid related artifacts?
I don't know. Let's see. He's just a history buff, I guess. I don't know. He's a collector.
I bet he's got a crazy collection.
Yeah, I bet he does too.
Well, it's pretty sick. I hope that goes to the right home and not someone who's going to just
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting history or just information on. Somebody predicts that the weapon will be sold to an avid collector for even more than $3 million.
Jesus.
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy, bro.
Crazy. I gotta hit the stop button. Stupid.